Hello, good afternoon. It's Adil Fazal here, market analyst at CFTs.com, bringing you a review of the European markets for the trading session Wednesday, the 25th of October 2017. Please be sure to visit TradeSignal, signals and market updates from leading providers at www.tradesignaler.com, and you can certainly download the app at the Google Play and the Apple App Store. Okay, so let's bring up the stats for you in terms of the Asian session first and foremost. We had the US session certainly under pressure yesterday on the back of concerns with regards to political infighting amongst Trump and his GOP, and also obviously the Republicans. You had criticism from the Democrats with regards to Trump's tax policy certainly going ahead, and therefore Dow certainly crept in as well. Also, we have the uncertainty as to who will be the next potential Fed chair. So again, all those factors are certainly adding to uncertainty and creating risk off. Asian markets overnight, you had the Nikkei certainly under pressure, down almost 100 points. So again, that certainly is a change of direction given the recent rally. Although Shanghai, Chinese markets certainly higher, Hang Seng higher, and Shanghai higher too. So certainly take that into consideration. In terms of European economic data this morning, we've had stronger French and stronger German data, certainly helping the two indices that remain afloat. In terms of European data, certainly came in mixed, slightly weaker on the PMI services and the composite, although stronger on the manufacturing. In terms of European, Italian trade balance certainly coming in stronger than expected, and now we're waiting for obviously. This morning, just to clarify, that was yesterday. Just to clarify, this morning we've had German IFO expectations. IFO, that was yesterday. So in terms of French data, German data certainly coming in stronger than expected. European data mixed. This morning, it certainly seems the same theme certainly is recurring, with German IFO expectations stronger, IFO current assessment, business climate, etc. all coming in stronger. Italian data certainly coming in stronger as well, certainly helping. ZEW data certainly coming in stronger as well. And UK GDP numbers certainly coming in stronger. Initially, we did sell off on the back of a stronger GBP USD, but the market certainly seems to have reversed for now. And that certainly remains the status quo. We have concerns over Catalonia, obviously ongoing. Obviously, we have the ECB meeting tomorrow again, so again, a lot of uncertainty there. Certainly expecting the Euro USD to rally. If I bring up the Euro USD here, obviously, from my perspective, certainly looking for a hawkish stance from the ECB Draghi. Okay, so again, looking for the Euro USD to rally here on the 4-hour chart, certainly poised for it as well. 60-minute chart, certainly looking for a thrust time back up to that 92 region. 1.1792, potentially test 1.18. 180 from my perspective, given the fact that we have had the US tax ban certainly being put on pause, so certainly factor that into the equation as well. Okay, so that's the status quo with regards to euro, certainly looking for a move higher. If you look at the dollar chart, certainly seems to have paused, given the fact that some political members there are certainly questioning Trump's tax plan. I think 3 of the COP members certainly were opposed to it, so again, that certainly isn't bullish news. And again, certainly stalls the dollar. As you can see, a 60-minute chart certainly stalling as well, and the 4-hour chart certainly hitting a double top. So again, looking for a weaker dollar, and therefore looking for a stronger euro and stronger Kiwi and stronger Aussie as well. Okay, Aussie has been hammered overnight, given the fact that we have weaker inflation numbers, so certainly not helping the Aussie at all. Okay, so let's see where the markets are positioned from a technical perspective. German DAX still remains buoyant, given the fact that we're above the previous resistance zone. Certainly have been consolidating there ever since. Unless we break 12,950, it opens up the gap fill at 12,820, and then obviously multiple gaps below. So if we break below 12,950, the bulls certainly have lost steam, and therefore you are looking for weakness. Okay, bear that in mind. Okay, so German DAX at the moment, 60-minute chart certainly is putting in a lower high. We certainly seem to be coiling here. Now, which way do we break? Good question. Okay, so do we break lower or do we break higher? That's the question. So certainly see a coiling pattern ongoing here on the German DAX on the 60-minute chart. Which way do we break? Now, one could argue you are looking for a right shoulder here. Obviously, this is your potential head, and then obviously looking for a right shoulder and looking to flush lower. So one could argue you have a HNS formation pending already. So again, looking for the right shoulder, and obviously looking to flush down to back down to 12,830, and that's on the back of obviously Mr. Draghi being hawkish and the Euro USD moving higher. So 60-minute chart from my perspective, certainly what it can go either way. Okay, either we break lower or we break higher. So we break higher above 13,100 and obviously continue with the rally, or we break lower and market starts to reverse. Now, given the fact that we have a bearish engulfing candle in charge on the S&P 500, I'm projecting, based on intermarket analysis, and projecting weakness. So if you look at the daily chart of the S&P 500, we've had a bearish engulfing candle, okay, and we're basically consolidating within that red candle, and therefore looking for gap fill below. So if you look at your 60-minute chart, you can see that we're looking for gap fill. We haven't filled that gap there at 25.62, and potentially even retest that low at 25.50. So those two scenarios certainly are coming into the equation, so bear that in mind, okay? Now let's move on to the German DAX again. So based on that factor, I'm certainly looking for a potential thrust lower. Also with regards to the DAX for MDAX 50, again you have a bearish engulfing candle, very similar to the S&P 500 with consolidating, and one would then expect a flush lower on the back of a hawkish Draghi, which really is expected. As I said, Euro USD is certainly poised to move higher, dollar certainly coming into resistance, everything indicating a potential move higher. That's my interpretation, that's my expectation as well. Okay, so moving back to the German DAX, again, we're coiling. We haven't made a higher high. We've made a potential lower high. Okay, so therefore bias would certainly argue to the downside if we are going to get a hawkish Draghi. 10-minute chart certainly is short squeezing each time we hit key pivot support. So again, certainly bulls are happy and more than happy to buy, and the market certainly gets squeezed very hard when that occurs. Okay, so again, just use your Fibonacci, or should we say diagonal trend line, simple diagonal trend lines for now. And just using support and resistance, you can see we're certainly hitting extremes before the market sells off quite sharply, and then hitting extremes on the downside, and the market certainly rallying quite sharply as well. So for traders, that certainly is, for those that are scalping, it's an absolute scalping dream at the moment, with the markets oscillating between those two regions. Okay, that's the status quo there with regards to the German DAX. Now moving on to the French CAC. Daily chart is showing gap fill resistance, horizontal resistance. Certainly stalling here from my perspective on the daily chart, certainly exhausted. 60-minute chart certainly is showing resilience. That's all I can say for now in terms of the 60-minute chart. If we take the pivot lows, connect them together, you do have a rising contracting wedge pattern though, so watch out below. Okay, that's all I can say. Especially with Mr. Draghi tomorrow, it certainly looks like a bull trap from my perspective, and certainly looking for a reversal here. Okay, I was expecting H&S formation, and that's obviously been negated with a higher high. 10-minute chart on the French CAC, again you are looking back into resistance, so it seems that we're hitting that key resistance and then reversing quite sharply. So let's see how the market unfolds there. Okay, so let's keep watching key resistance for now, and again looking for a reversal. Okay, moving on to the FTSE 100 now. This is a chart that I've just actually shorted, just to make you aware. I've actually gone short on the FTSE 100 here at this key 7520 zone, looking for a move potentially lower back down to 7500 again. Okay, daily chart, obviously we already know we're holding key resistance at 7550. Market certainly is rejecting that quite sharply. 60-minute chart, it's an inside bar. Perfect H&S formation, by the way. You've got your left shoulder here. Obviously this is your head. Okay, we're just basically putting in a potential right shoulder, and then obviously looking to flush lower. From my perspective, once we break that key 7495 zone, you are bringing up 7455 very, very sharply. Okay, you do have this key diagonal trend line though, so keep an eye out for that, although it hasn't really featured here, so I'm going to take that away for now. Again, break 7495, it opens up 7460 very, very quickly. We have a bear flag at the moment. Let's see if that plays out. Certainly expecting it to, and certainly expecting it to flush as well. So again, H&S formation certainly brewing on the FTSE. For now, I'll just use my key diagonal trend line. Let's just take the pivot high and connect them together, and again we're back into that key resistance. So again, bear flag for a scenario, looking for a new low below, looking for 7460 on the FTSE 100 here. Okay, so that's the status quo at present then. Okay, so certainly looking for weakness on the FTSE, looking for a flush lower. Going to the 10-minute chart now. Again, like I said, if you use your Fibonacci retracement tool, pivot high to pivot low, we're back into that Fib 75%, so that's another reason why I actually shorted the FTSE at 7520 and looking for a flush down. Okay, so again, that's my scenario. My scenario certainly paints a bearish picture going into Mr. Draghi's meeting tomorrow. Bias certainly remains bearish from my perspective. Okay, on that note, please be sure to visit Trade Signals and market updates from leading providers, and certainly take advantage of that bonus. Goodbye now.